All right, guys, we're going to check out a couple of Traser watches. These are tritium tubed watches. Traser is owned by a company called MB Microtech, and that's who actually makes all of these tritium tubes you see in all the other watches. They came out with their own brand of watch, and here we go. So big thanks to my buddy Richard over at Saltzman's Watches. I'll put a link to their website in the description. He sent these over with some other watches. He continues to support the channel. I appreciate it. And these are, I think, maybe discontinued watches. I'm not 100% sure. Every time I go to look them up, everyone is sold out of them. And I think that's partly, you know, they just change models and everything. So these are older models. I know, again, here I am showing you watches that you probably can't find, or at least is slightly difficult to find. So let's start off with this one on the left here. This is the, I'll just show you the box. The Traser P67 Officer Automatic Brown. Now this is a bronze dial or bronze case watch, and it has kind of a root beer brown dial. And the model number is 108073. That's the model. Here's the hang tag. Saltzman's, I think, puts that on there, puts the model on there. There's the retail price. You're not going to pay retail for these. And you certainly, I mean, typically you're going to have to find them on the secondary market at this point anyway. But anyway, case size on this, 44.8 millimeter. So both these are larger watches, but this one's 44.8, lug to lug, 52.4. I can already hear you guys. I know there's a ton of people saying, Rob, that's too big of a watch. That's too big of a watch. Listen, there's people that either really like large watches, including myself. I like a little bit larger watch. And there's people that actually have the wrist size to support these larger watches. So I like to show the large watches. I like to show the Goldilocks, the 40 to 42. I like to show the smaller 39, 38, 37, 36 mils. So just bear with me. If this one's too big for you, you don't have to watch the video. This one's for guys that like the big watches or they have the wrist size to support it. 12.3 thick, so it's actually pretty thin for its case size. 22 millimeter lug width. Comes on this really nice, I don't know if I can call it really padded. It almost feels like it would be padded, but it has no give to it. So I don't think it is. I don't know how this is constructed, to be honest with you. I think it's just a really nice thick leather, but it already has that really nice curvature to it. So it's already going to fit your wrist really good. It does have a display case back. It's running the ETA 2824 movement. So that's awesome. That's very good. It's a push-pull crown, so it's only 100 meter water resist, but this is kind of more of a field watch anyway, so 100 meters is fine. If we zoom in, you can see that beautiful root beer dial. Date cut out at 3, and they almost made it look like they didn't really enter up to 3. That almost just looks like that's the font of the 3, so that's kind of slick. You have some longer tubes, and you have some shorter tubes where they're interrupted with the indices. And then you have your hour and minute. I mean, check out that handset too. I'm not sure what material they used for that, but look at the brushing on it. It's very clean. They even have a tritium tube on the second hand. If we pop this out and move the handset out of the way, you're actually going to see some tritium tubes underneath the branding Traser, and then the H3, I think it is. There's a tritium tube on either side of it. So pretty slick. Let's pop this guy on wrist, and then we'll move on to the chronograph. Yep, we're going to do both watches in one video. So there it is on my 7.25 inch wrist. Yep, it's a big watch, and it presents big. I think the tone of it kind of, you know, blends in with at least my skin tone and a lot of people's skin tone. So it's actually going to play maybe visually a little bit smaller, or at least not as noticeable on wrist. And it's very comfortable on wrist. I don't have any problem. Like, I can wear this easily. It doesn't exceed the wingspan, you know, on the top of the wrist here or anything. Totally doable, and it's just a great looking dial and handset. So let's check out the chronograph. I'll get this thing off wrist here, and then I'll try to do the tritium tube illumination at the very end. Now this guy here is the 103349, and I'll put all this in the description too, but here's the box. This is the Traser H3 Officer Chronograph Pro. And then again, there's the number. Now this one is running a Swiss quartz movement. I have the chronograph running right now, but this is the Ronda 5040E, and you got everything's it's non-screw down, so it's gonna be the same thing. 100 meter. You do have a rotating bezel on this, 60 click. Very heavy, like thunk feel to it. And once you back set it into its spot, there's no movement, no play, no nothing. And if you look closely, you can actually see the grip around the bezel is actually, there's like a coin edge and a sawtooth. So plenty of traction on that thing. And it is full metal, it's no insert, so it's actually engraved out. And then there should be a small tritium tube up top there at the 60. Very good. This one's a day date, so you have your date or day up there, Friday, and then down below you'll have your date. Oh, when I pull the crown out, it looks like it resets we were like in between a date change, so I wanted to flip that around, otherwise it was going to bother me. I'm sure it was bothering you guys too. All right, so I didn't know that when you pull out the crown, when it's in timekeeping mode, it resets itself. Interesting. Must be something to do to protect the movement. Case size on this, 46, so it's actually slightly larger than the auto. 53.6 lug to lug. This one's obviously all stainless steel. 13.6 thick, and if you look closely, the crystal is actually lower than the top of the bezel, so the crystal is actually plenty protected. 22 millimeter lug width, and both of these actually have 8 millimeter crowns. I forgot to mention that on the first one. There's a look at the case back. Both of them have screw down case backs. This leather is more fitting to the chronograph. You have your couple of rivets there and a really nice, not shiny, but like a decent sheen to the black with the white stitching. You have one fixed keeper, one floating keeper, and then this one actually comes with some hardware here. It is a little stiff to get it to snap down. I'm assuming that'll break in over time. There's no pins or anything to release it. You just pull it. So it's just a friction fit like that. And as you can see, that's running. Let me reset that real quick. Because when you first start to run it down at the 6 o'clock, you're going to see a lot faster register there. And that'll do that for, I forget how long, like for the first whatever seconds. And then it actually goes into a different mode. I don't play around with chronographs, guys. I don't know the terminology. So go ahead and beat me up in the comments on that. I'm fine with it. Tritium tubes everywhere. You don't have them up there because, underneath the logo, because you have the day section there. But you have tritium tubes all the way around. I'm assuming just by the naked eye right now, those maybe are green. And then I think you have orange up at the 12. That's pretty standard, I think, or normal in the tritium tube world. But let's pop this guy on wrist so you can see what it looks like on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. There you go. Again, large watch. I can wear it on 7 1/4 inch wrist. I can wear this size watch, and it's comfortable. There's no hot spots. It doesn't dig in or anything like that. It wears good and looks good. So if you like the larger watches, there's some killer deals on these Traser watches, and there's some really nice bronze ones and stainless steel ones on top of their resin type watches they have too, which I'll get more of those in too to share on the channel as well. All right, let's see if I can somehow show, I'm not sure if how I'm going to be able to do this, somehow show the tritium tubes to you like in a clean way here. Let's kill the lights. And you might be able to see them. Oh, the one on the left actually has some lume on it too. But, oh, so those tubes on the chronograph are actually blue, and then a really nice orange at the 12. And then you have green on that guy. Man, that auto one, that's cool. They added the lume and you have the tritium. So you got a ton going on there. Try to get you different viewpoints there. So always going to be glowing once your eyes adjust to a complete dark room. Man, this one on the left is beast. I'm impressed with that. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. And big thanks to Richard over at Saltzman's for sending these in. I'll catch you on the next vid.